Good morning, America. Good afternoon from Germany. This is Pascal speaking. It is Tuesday and it's time for a new live stream. So, hope my sound is working today. Let me know if you cannot hear me, but hope you can. And yeah, let's start right away now with the economic news for today. Consumer confidence. Here. The news first. So today CB consumer confidence forecast is 108.5 in about 43 minutes. Let's see how this one comes out, and we will have in 28 minutes Chicago PMI for February. So we had already some news pre-market here, as you can see, which were a little bit lower than expected here. Market is currently going a little bit lower, but we are about the same level where we closed yesterday. We closed at about 12,100 points in Nasdaq. Market is pulling back a little bit now, but we are still in between the high and low points from pre-market. And yeah, these are not lines from today. As you can see, these are from my previous live stream. So I will go on a higher time frame so that you can see what happened there. With these lines. So here we had my previous live stream last Friday pre-market, and we have drawn these lines together from Thursday. Thursday it was a high point and a low point. You can clearly see on this 1 hour time frame where the high and low points were sitting, and you can still see that these levels are in place. So this was a pre-market low from Thursday last week, and this was again pre-market high today. And yesterday you can see during normal trading hours it was the closing of the 1 hour candles at this previous support, and it now acts as a resistance at 12,150 points. So you see over how many days these levels can still act as support levels or as resistance levels. Like now, today, pre-market low here was 12,026 points, and last Thursday, pre-market, or no, it was not pre-market, it was regular trading hours, it was 12,028 points. So these levels are still in place, so we are just trading sideways. So I want to have a clear break to the up or downside to see more direction now. Let's see it on a higher time frame, like 4 hour. Here you can clearly see this was a false breakout to the downside because we didn't reach the next support levels, which were sitting lower. So the low point was 11,922. But if we go on a day chart, you can see that the 50% Fibonacci retracements, the next support level, is sitting at around 11,850 points. So 70 points lower than the previous low here from Friday, and therefore it was just a false break to the downside. We went higher again and closed right at the important 12,000 level. So it's holding right now the important psychological level, but the moving averages are acting as resistance. As you can see, parabolic is negative and ADX is about to cross here, already crossed, so showing more weakness here. So the trend pace is slowing down. It's not an uptrend anymore. As you can see, we are below the previous low points, but in a sideways trading range now. So we can still have the decision that the prices want to go higher here, but therefore we need a break above 12,250 points. Okay, this is Nasdaq. We will see soon on market open, when volume is coming back, where the prices will push. But like always, the first 20 to 30 seconds, we can see a push in the false direction, like we have seen last Thursday. Let's just go back to this day, because there we had this push to the downside, and then we had a 100% recovery here. And again, yesterday, we had this push to the upside, and then we went lower again. So we often see this, that the first half an hour is a push in the wrong direction. Therefore, I would just wait and see if we can see a clear breakout to the upside here above 12,150 or below the 12,000 point area. I still have my small long position. I entered at about 12,100 points. I was stopped out here the last Thursday, but I re-entered last Friday when we went above 12,000 again. So it's just a small position, and yeah, I'm just waiting if we can see a clear breakout to the upside or to the downside. I don't want to take on more on this position. I will just hold it, and if we go lower than previous Friday, then I will be out of this position again. But there should be some support back at the 11,850 level. There I will take on a smaller long trade again. But yeah, it's still trading against the trend if you go long here, because it's showing some signs of weakness. Let's move on with ES future for S&P 500. On a day chart, you see more weakness here. And last Friday, we retested, as you can see, the lows were right at the Fibonacci level. So the Fibonacci 61.8% from this previous move here. And the low point was 3,947.5 points. This is right the Fibonacci level on point. And then we moved higher again and closed at about the same low point of previous Thursday. So this was also the opening price of yesterday, as you can see. But yeah, huge wick on the upside, still showing signs of weakness. So we have to break above the 4,000 points level and close above it. So then it can turn again maybe. Then move on with Euro USD. Euro USD currency is showing some signs of more strength here for the euro. Yesterday and today, 2 green candles. So there will be probably some resistance here at around this area, which was previous low points holding for several consecutive days here. This is a 106.70 area about this. So still some room to the upside. But if we take it as an early indicator for the stock market, then probably there is some room to pull to higher levels for the stock market, because we had a green candle yesterday and today. So let's see how the news come out and how this influences the prices. Then let's stay with the currencies, with Euro Japanese yen. Euro Japanese yen is still pulling higher here on a weekly chart. As you can see, previous 2 candles were pretty green, and we started green again for this week with the a smaller red candle yesterday, but today green again. And yeah, probably we will see more green candles in a row, because I predicted that we will see this 138.5 area again, because this was a previous high point and I want to see this shoulder, head and shoulder formation. So let's see if we can go back to this area. This is about 1.5 to 1.8% to reach this resistance zone here. Then let's see, DAX German index. Yeah, still strong, just trading sideways in the previous 3 or 4 weeks. But you see how near we are from the high points here. Even if the largest company, Linde, left the DAX yesterday, so now Commerzbank went back. Previously, Commerzbank had to leave DAX. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when Wirecard went into the DAX, and then Commerzbank is now back under the 40 biggest companies in Germany, and Linde, the largest one, has left the German stock exchange because it's now half a US company, and they don't want to be listed anymore in German DAX, because they think that the value is not fully reflected like it could be if they have only a US listing. So yeah, the largest company of the German stock index went out of the index, and all the other 39 stocks have now a higher weighting, and a new company, Commerzbank, went back into the index. So let's see how this plays out in the next days and weeks, but I think that it is pretty strong now. The European markets, and especially the German one, has some signs of strength in the previous weeks and months. Let's move on with commodities. Let's begin with orange juice. Orange juice is interesting here. Where's the chart? Bring it on my second screen here. Because we closed this gap, I informed you that I already went in a short position, an early short, because we closed the gap here, but we can still try to retest previous high points here. So let's see where we want to see the highs. So yesterday the high point here was about 225 cents, but the previous high was 259 cents. So still some room to retest the previous high points. But we already see some signs of weakness with this huge wick here. We had high points of 255 but closed at 249. So this is the first sign of weakness. So let's see how this candle plays out, and I want to take on more shorts on the confirmation if we go to lower levels, maybe back to the $2 area, 200 cents here. There is still some decent room to the downside. This would be about 19.6% room to the downside right now. So I'm in a short position. Don't trade after me, always do your own due diligence. No investment advice here, just telling you what I did. Move on with natural gas, and then we will see the news in about 3 minutes. Natural gas is pulling higher, finally. I'm in my short put position for several weeks now. Nothing was happening, just sideways trading, then pulling lower again. This is now May future is front contract months for natural gas. And now, yesterday, you can see we went above the parabolic, above 20-day EMA. So this is a pretty good sign for the bulls here to retest higher levels above moving averages, and finally parabolic changing to an uptrend again. It's a good sign. Maybe we will see a retest here of the previous outbreak level here at 270 and retest of the exponential moving averages, but it's a good sign for the bulls. Maybe see $3 or even $3.30 levels here, and my puts are big in the green, my short puts, because the implied volatility went down, and that's a good sign. And yeah, even if you see that we are not really higher than where I opened the position here about 4 weeks ago, you can clearly see that options can play out in your favor just because of the time going by. Okay, now let's see crude oil and then go to the news. So here is crude oil. Let's see it on a lower time frame. So it's pretty bullish today, as you can see, 2.5% in the green. Back to the day chart. Hope the candles are loading. Yes, candles are loading here. So we didn't go back to the previous lows here. I wanted to see the previous low points here, but we only went down to $73.80 and are now trying to pull higher. So this is a shoulder head shoulder formation. Now let's see if we can go lower and retest here the neckline, or if we will pull higher than the previous shoulder. Then yeah, this could also be the case, but normally we should retest the neckline here. And yeah, you can also say this is a cup and this is the handle formation here. Yeah, there are different charting patterns you can see in crude oil right now, but I'm not trading it because I already have a natural gas position. And now let's see the news outcome here from consumer confidence. Oops, it's a little bit smaller here, and bring up Nasdaq again. So on a 1 minute time frame, so that we can see the impact of the news. Trading at 12,059 points right now. Next support to the downside at about 12,025 points and psychological 12,000 level. And to the upside, it would be 12,100, the closing of yesterday, and 12,150 pre-market high point. So news are out. Let's see if the market is moving here. News or not, our market is open, but the news will be out in 14 minutes. So, okay, but the volume is coming in now, and we will see a first direction from the market participants trading, being able to trade now. I'm just used to have the news at half because I'm normally doing live streams pre-market, and today I'm live streaming market open again. So yeah, in about 14 minutes are the news out. So still some time, and more important news, CP consumer confidence in 29 minutes. So still some time, but let's see what the market open can do now. Some dip buyers coming in, but you can clearly see the weakness here. Parabolic showing a downtrend. We are below the moving averages. We had the crossing here of 9 EMA and 20 EMA. We trade below volume weighted average price right now, and you see it is a pretty strong trend here with the red line of ADX. So we will probably see some signs here of resistance at the 12,075 points level, but maybe with the news it can turn higher. Let's wait and see what will happen here, and just move on with our stocks, because Tesla is also interesting. Pretty strong yesterday and today, again more than 1% green, but yesterday it was about 5-6% green day. And it's an interesting pattern here again, like crude oil, shoulder head shoulder. It's a high shoulder here, but a higher head here, and this is a second shoulder now. So neckline is about here at the 187, between 187 and 190. So I would say this is the next neckline here already. So a support zone between these Fibonacci level and the $190 area. So let's see if we can pull above these head here. This would be pretty bullish and would offer next chance to go higher to the previous, what's this wrong candle here? Always have this on a day chart. There would be room to go to the previous high points here at around 230, 235 area. So still some room to the upside if we break the previous high point. But for now it's just trading sideways the 4th consecutive week. And yeah, I still wait for the retest of the neckline here at 190 and lower, and then the break of the neckline, and there should be more selling pressure if we go below 187 on the closing of a day. So let's wait for Tesla. I have a bear call spread still in place, but it's green, I think 45% right now. The 250 strike short and 260 strike long call. So it's a bear call spread, and it can also profit just from the prices going sideways like it is right now. But we have important news tomorrow for Tesla, because there will be Investors Day on March 1st, tomorrow, Wednesday. And of course, a lot of people, of traders, or a lot of trader of Tesla stock are excited for this day, and therefore they push the stock to the upside. But what we often see, it's about 89% of the time after the Investors Day, the stock is pulling back. And ends pretty weak, because not all the expectations can be met. So yeah, I'm curious what Elon Musk will present tomorrow, but I'm not really bullish for the stock. And another stock, a lot of people are bullish right now, or bearish, let's see. But Nvidia was pulling higher on the earnings. As you can see, we had a big move here of about 10%, and the next day even more. So we went above the previous high points. You see it's the 2, 4, 6, 8th consecutive green week now. So yeah, a lot of bullishness here. But if we go on a monthly time frame, you see that the air is getting thinner here, because we have some major resistance areas here. And it's, the high point was $238.88, and this level here is 243. So only some dollars left, and then there should be finally a high point where we see some kind of rejection. Let's see. But yeah, this was just a push, the monthly push from the outbreak, as you can see the previous high points here. So we pushed pretty strong above the previous high points here. And on a day chart, it's just a sideways trading here, the 3rd or 4th consecutive day now. So we need to push above the previous highs to see these $243 area. But then finally we should see some pullbacks here. But it's pretty strong now, because you see higher low points, higher high points. So I wouldn't enter an early short here, because it can still push above $243. I would wait for this level to come and not enter a short before this level is reached, or I see a sign of confirmation. So back to NASDAQ to see what the market participants are doing. So the first 5 minutes is just a candle of indecision. As you can see, a lot of bouncing to the up and down side, wicks to the up and down side, and yeah, no real decision taken right yet. So let's wait what will happen here. Still weak, below moving averages, below parabolic, below volume weighted average price. ADX is still showing a downtrend on a 5-minute time frame, and the same on a 15-minute time frame here. Stronger trend, volume coming in. Let's see it on a hourly time frame. Below parabolic, below moving averages. ADX showing weakness, and a 4-hour time frame. It's the same here, but it's still in the sideways trading, as you can clearly see. No breakout yet. We need to break below pre-market lows and retest the 12,000 to see a clear break to the downside. So it's not really interesting to take a trade or to take a swing trade within this sideways trading here, because I'm mainly a swing trader. I don't want to take on more to my small long position here. Just waiting for the market to find its direction. Maybe the news can act as catalyst to push the market in one direction. On a 30-minute chart, let's see it on a 30-minute chart, Rocket. So yeah, we had some decent pull up here. This was a European market opening, 9 a.m. my time. This is 3 a.m. Eastern time. This is when the stock market here in Europe opens. And then you can clearly see this big push from the lows to the highs. This is 1%. And then right at noon or 1 p.m. my time, this is 7 a.m. Eastern time, we had the push back here. And yeah, now pulling a little bit higher, but I would still wait for the news. In about 8 minutes and about 23 minutes, we will see more volume on the news and then probably finally see the direction here. So still waiting here. Let's move on with Wix. Wix is pulling lower, as you can see, back to 21. So no fear here, because the market is back above 12,000 and NASDAQ, and pulled back also for ES future for S&P 500. So not above the 4,000. It's still weaker. The S&P 500 is weaker than NASDAQ, but it can hold its levels here at about 3,980 points for the future. And there's not a lot of fear in the market right now. There can also be a big surprise, but we still have some weeks until the next Federal Reserve meeting. So let's see the interest rate expectations here. Next meeting is in 22 days, and here we see the expectations. 34% for a 25 basis points move and 26% for the 50 basis points move. So we see that comparing with a month ago, a week ago, and yesterday, the number went higher. So the expectations are going higher and higher and higher. We are discussing this in all my previous live streams, and we always see that the expectations are going higher. So there can be a big surprise if on the next meeting in 22 days, there's only 25 basis points move. Then this is a big surprise for the market, or good surprise, because more than 1/4 wait for the 50 basis points. And if we only see 25 basis points, this can be a good surprise for the market and push the markets higher. But it's also a bad sign, because we will probably have higher inflation. But if we look here for the probabilities of the next meetings, we see that the high point is still here at 5.5%. So 2 more interest rate steps here of 25 basis points to the upside, and also no movement back. Here, as you can see, the previous weeks we had the expectation that we will go lower at the end of the year, and this shifted to no lower interest rate level for the end of the year. So we will probably stay here at around 5.5%. This is what the market expects right now. This is not my expectation. I think that there will be a big overshooting here to the upside from Federal Reserve, because this will cause a big recession. It's 5.5% interest rate for more than half a year. I don't think that this will last a long time. So probably we will see a shift back to lower interest rate levels. But it takes its time, so let's just be patient and wait for the economic data to be pulled out and then see the reaction of the Federal Reserve. But probably we will see 2 more or maybe 3 more interest rate steps to the upside. Okay, do you have some interesting stocks you want me to analyze? Then write them down in the live stream chat and I can analyze them. We had talked about Palantir, and you see $8 is an important level. It's around psychological level. It was here the partial close of this gap. We were talking about this, and the stock is now holding at this level. The closing yesterday was at 803, so higher than the $8 area, and it is an interesting level if you want to take on a long position for long-term investment. So of course we could still retest here the previous lows, but yeah, the gap is now almost closed, and it's an interesting level if you want to take on a long-term long trade here. Yeah, what else do we have? We talked about Upstart here with these giant push to the upside from the short squeeze, but the stock went back here and is now trading sideways, and the implied volatility went lower after the earnings, but the short interest is still high here. Let's see it on Finwiz. So still a lot of shorties in this stock, so it can be that there will be a second push to the upside. 45% of the stock are shorted. This is crazy. So even on Tesla, I haven't seen these high numbers. Of course, it's not a stock valued like Tesla was, but back in, I can remember 2017, 18, Tesla was shorted heavy, about 20 to 25% short float. So 45% is pretty high for a stock like this. Market cap is 1.5 billion, so it's not a small cap. It's a smaller cap maybe, but yeah, still more than 1 billion valuation here. And the important thing is the ratio. So ratio 5 indicates that we need 5 days with an average volume of 6 million shares per day to cover all the shorties. So now you know what will happen if we push higher by 10, 20, 30%. All the shorties here, these 45% of shorted shares, will get problems. So they will have to cover. Therefore, these short sellers will buy back their shares. So they will produce demand. They will ask for the shares. And they will push maybe the prices higher, because you see, with an average volume, they would need 5 days to cover all their shares. So that has to say that all the short shares will be covered. But even if only the half the position size here of these shorties will be covered, we need 2.5 trading days with an average volume. And this can cause all these crazy pushes like we had. Even on the bad earnings numbers, we had this giant push here. So it's not over yet. We will probably see more pushing to the upside. You just have to take it on your watch list and wait for the day when this next push will happen here for Upstart. Yeah, another. Do we have another interesting stock? We were talking about the TLT ETF last week, and I said probably we will see more pullback here. And you see we are retesting the lows today again. Because yeah, if we see higher interest rate expectations, then probably it's not good for all the bonds. And you see the bond prices are pulling back right now. Probably see soon a retest of the 100 level and maybe a pull below. In previous October we had lower levels here at about 92 and lower, so we will probably see a retest of this area if we see higher interest rate expectations, or just a shift to the 50 basis points move for the next Federal Reserve meeting. So I would be prepared for a pull below the previous lows here. Previous low was $99.35. And if we pull below this, then probably we'll see a retest of October lows. Yes. Which stock? Gold. Yes, we were talking about gold. So let's see gold on a day chart. So gold was trying to push higher yesterday, and we had a retest of the lows today again. But yeah, it's just with no change at all today. Let's see where gold is moving, but like discussed in the previous streams, it's never a good sign when the interest rate expectations are shifting higher because of the high opportunity cost for holding gold. So the first news should be out now. Let's go here and see Chicago PMI. Chicago PMI is out. Let's see market reaction. 1 minute time frame. Only a 2-star event, no big shift here. But as you can see, retested 12,100 level now. Next Fibonacci retested. Let's see if we can move above and go back to pre-market highs of 12,150 points. Yeah, like always, first half an hour of the market can be the wrong direction, so I would wait for the final news in about 15 minutes. This one is more important because it's a 3-star event. But Chicago PMI went out. I cannot see the actual number, but it was probably good for the market. Just wait, nothing really important. In 13 minutes, consumer confidence will be more important here. So, trading above Fibonacci, bigger pushes here. Shorties are covering. We will probably see a retest of the 12,150 in the next 15 minutes here. So back to what we were talking about. It was gold, yeah. So gold is pulling lower because of the higher interest rate expectations, and as long as the expectations are shifting more to the 50 basis points move, then yeah, it's just a more sign of weakness for gold. So I would wait for a clear bottom building here for the gold price, because I cannot see this right now that this is the final bottom here. Maybe on a weekly time frame we will see more signs here where this probable bottom could be around 1800 level. Maybe this was a previous resistance, as you can see, and then we had this push above, retest, and from there we had the start of this giant uptrend, and now we can probably retest the 1800 level. So it was pulling already a lot back to the downside, 8% from the previous high points here, but still some room. I would wait for the market to find a bottom here, maybe at the $1,800 level. Maybe it wants to push lower and retest October lows. So if TLT tests October lows, then probably also gold can test October lows. You see we had 3 times on a weekly time frame these low points. So this is a really important low point here at the $1,650. So this one will be important, but yeah, there's a lot of room to the downside to retest this one. 9.5% room, but yeah, a lot of things can happen within 20 trading days until the next Federal Reserve meeting. So I would be patient and wait. I don't have any position in gold right now. Back to Nasdaq and pulling back again from the resistance here. Sometimes just some scalpers are using it. This is a retest now of a volume weighted average price. As you can see, the purple line here is volume weighted average price. So we were rejected by the Fibonacci level, retested now volume weighted average price. It acts as a support, and now we can try to push above this resistance area here to retest pre-market highs at 12,150. Maybe we will get the chance to retest this area before the next news are out. Let's see if we now have Chicago PMI. 43.6, so lower, a little bit lower than the forecast. So it's a good sign for the market. Why? Because there's less demand from the purchasing managers and therefore less fear of higher inflation, less fear of higher interest rate levels. So back to the expectations here, 23.6, 26.2, not a big shift here. Only 2-star went, so no big movements like There's natural gas. No big movements today, only 1.9%. Still waiting. Let's see one of the German stocks I have a position. I have a 122 euro strike here on Adidas. That's ADS, Adidas, traded at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And I have a short put, a 122 euro strike short put at Eurex. You see it's just trading sideways since they discontinued the treaty with these shoes from the rapper. What's his name? You probably know the name, but I always have some difficulties remembering names. Jeezys, the Jeezys from JZ. So yeah, there was a big drop here of 11.5%, and I immediately entered a short put because you can see the high implied volatility. And I'm still in this trade, but I'm already 70% in the green, and that's again the interesting thing with options, because you see implied volatility was pulling back a little bit, so from 41% to 37%, just 4 percentage points. But together with the time going by, I can make money even if the prices are just going sideways, like here on Adidas. And that's why I like to trade options, because you have a multi-dimensional ability to trade. It's not only directional, like you have to predict if the prices are going higher or lower when you trade stocks or short sale stocks, but you can also just profit from the time going by, or just from the implied volatility going lower. You don't have to buy options, you can also sell options and act as a short seller and collect the premium, and that is what I did. I collected about, I think it was €1.80 per option premium, so the whole contract was 180 euro. For a 122 euro strike expiring in March. So there's still 3 weeks until the expiry. But I will buy back when I made 80%, so 20% remaining of the previous selling price. And then my trade will close and I will keep my 80% profit. So I'm mainly selling Delta 16 options. Delta 16, the chance calculated by the market is 16% that we will be below 122 euro at expiration in March. And therefore, if you calculate 100 minus 16, the probability for being out of the money and the option being worthless is 84%. So I have a high chance of being profitable. But the problem is you can lose more than the 100% because your max profit is the option premium. It's 100%. It's my €1.80, my 180 euro per contract is my max profit if I would wait until the expiry. But I can lose more because if the stock is dropping to 122 and lower, so I can lose more. My max loss would be 122 euro per option. Times 100 would be 12,200 euro max loss if Adidas would go to zero. So probably this won't happen until mid of March, but you know what happened in 2020. So prices can move pretty fast, and therefore always be cautious. And yeah, trading options as a short seller, you will need to have a proper risk management, because you will have a high hit rate. Like I have 80 to 90% hit rate. But you will still have losers. 10 to 20% of your trades will be losers, and they have to be managed. And if you don't manage them, then you will still not be profitable. You can be a loser with 20% loser trades because they can lose 200, 300, 1000% or more, and they can eat up all your gains. And therefore you have to be cautious. And yeah, you need to manage your losers. That's more important in trading, managing losers and not managing winners, because you can let your winners run, just set a stop loss to not give up all your profits again. But it is really important to manage your losers. 5 minutes left for the news. Still trading around 12,100. Let's just see the next news for this week so that we can prepare for the other live streams. Tomorrow My brother will visit me, but I don't know if I will be able to live stream here ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. Eastern. But if not, I will try to do a short live stream before market open, just to prepare for what happened today and prepare for the next news. So on Thursday, initial jobless claims like every week, but some interesting data from the European market here. Nothing interesting for the US market, but Friday, ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So probably the next longer live stream will be on Friday, but I will try to live stream tomorrow, pre-market, a shorter live stream just to recap what happened today and to prepare you for the important levels for the trading day tomorrow. Okay, 4 minutes left. Sometimes pretty boring to watch just the chart here with a narrow trading range of only 20-40 points here. Trading around VWAP. Everyone waiting for the news. Kanye West, yes, thank you. Jeezys and Kanye West. Luke. I'm not big into music and rapper business, therefore I'm always missing these names. $12,090. 3 minutes left for the news. Let's see the next levels on a higher time frame here. So 12,150, and if we go higher, then probably the high point of yesterday. So let's draw another line here. High point half an hour after the market was open yesterday was 12,190 points. A little bit higher. 12,190 points here. So 50 more points than the pre-market high. And on a 4-hour time frame. Yeah, this one should be an important one. If we can manage to go above 12,250, it's not looking like we will go this far today. But if we go higher, then there will probably be more pushing here. 200 points more to the upside, 1.4%, or 125 points more to the upside. 225 points more to the upside, to 12,400 and maybe 30 points here. This is the next Fibonacci level, and you can see this was a previous resistance here. So we didn't manage to go higher here on this what was it, February 17th, Friday and Monday. This was a holiday, therefore there was almost no trading, but the future market was open, closed early, but you see didn't manage to go above, and then there was a sell-off on Tuesday. So we can possibly see a retest of this area here of the Fibonacci level before we sell off more, but it's not looking pretty bullish, so just sideways trading the 5th consecutive day. Therefore I would wait. As a swing trader, you don't have to be in a position all the time. Just sometimes stay out of the market and wait for a clear direction. So now let's see the news. Today. CB consumer 108.5 is the forecast. 5 seconds left. News are out. Almost no reaction here. 102.9, a little bit lower than expected. That's good for the market. We don't want to see too high consumer confidence because this would cause risk of higher inflation, higher spending, and therefore higher interest rate expectations. So a little bit lower than the forecast, but not below 100 is perfect. This is what I wanted to see for my long position, but market doesn't want to react right now. Interesting. Almost no movement on the news. Late movement here. Pushing to the upside now. 12,100 back. Previous high point. Smaller pushback from the scalpers. They close their long positions here just to take on 10-15 points. And second push is higher now. So next target 12,150 points. Pre-market high. I want to see the push above the parabolic here just to see the change of direction, but it's looking more bullish now. We are trading above VWAP, above the moving averages. ADX already crossed here on a 15-minute time frame. Same on a 5-minute time frame. You see the crossing here. And we had the early crossing here on the market. 10 minutes after the market opened, parabolic, moving to the downside and indicating an early uptrend. Bulls are not so strong today, as you can see, huge wicks on the up and down side, so still big indecision today. Can also be a sideways trading day. No day to go big into a position, but maybe we managed to retest pre-market highs. Just watch it for 1 or 2 more minutes and then I will close out this live stream. So if you have some more questions, just write them down in the live stream chat and I can try to answer them. Let's see max pain level for the end of this week. This can be interesting for maybe Tesla and Spider. So Tesla is trading at $207. Max pain is 200 for the ending week. So we have a lot of open calls here at the 210 and 220 strikes. Some open puts here at the 200 and the lowest at the 150 strike. Wow, this is low. But max pain would be at $200 for this week ending. It's just a weekly expiry, so nothing big. But yeah, 200 is still an important psychological level here for Tesla. Let's see Spider, ETF of S&P 500. Current level is $397.70. Max pain is $399. So $1.50 higher. A lot of calls at the 400, 401. A lot of puts at 395. So therefore, max pain is just in between at the $399. Yeah, I don't care a lot of max pain theory, but sometimes it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if a lot of people are looking for the max pain level and are trading after the max pain level, so thinking that we will close near 399 at the end of the week, then it can happen. So it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why I'm sometimes looking at max pain levels. What's the biggest mistake you have made as a career trader? So my biggest mistake in the beginning of my career was that I thought I'm just this big of a trader that I can be right all the time. But you can never be right all the time. You have to accept that 15 or 20% of the time you are just wrong. The market is always right. So you have to accept this as a fact. Even if you are right at the end, in 3 months, 6 months, 10 years, we don't care right now, because you have to manage your risk. If you are not able to manage your risk, you will fail. And this is the biggest thing you have to accept as a trader. And some of the biggest hurdles, I would say, as a trader is to accept being wrong sometime and to accept that the market is always right. So you have to cut your losses and you have to have clear levels where you want to cut your losses. And yeah, you have to calculate what is your loss, how big is it, and can you accept this loss? Because if you cannot sleep well anymore, then your position is probably too big and you have to cut it back. And this is really important. And in the beginning, I was always in the market with a too high position, so I didn't sleep very well, and I had difficulties to fight with my loser positions, even if I had a high hit rate of 85%. So this brings up good feelings, so to have a high hit rate, but the problem is to manage the losers. And this is a thing I'm still working on. Even if I'm trading for more than 10 years now and being profitable, it's always a bad feeling to have to manage a loser. So therefore it's easier if you define a clear level where you will cut your losses and to set just a stop loss. And if it's hit, then it's hit and you are out of the position and you don't have to care about it. But if you have mental stops, it's sometimes more difficult. I normally don't work with clear stops in the option market because it's more difficult to say here's the stop level, but it's easier with futures because there you have clear technical levels where we shouldn't go higher or lower depending on which position you are in. And if this target is reached, if this level is reached, then you should just go out of your position. Therefore it's easy to place a stop loss and easier than having a mental stop loss. And when the situation is that the stop loss is reached, you have to enter the stop loss and to be out of your position. And sometimes we are just pushing through this stop loss area, and yeah, this is not really good for mental health. Therefore just place your stop loss when you are at the earliest time when you are in your position, and then accept it that you are stop lossed out. Okay, no more questions. Market is moving higher as expected, probably retest of 12,150 points. I wish you a happy trading day. Hope you will have some nice profits today, and we will see us tomorrow before the market opens. Even if there are no major news, I will give you a smaller recap of the trading day today and what happened pre-market tomorrow. So let's see us tomorrow. And if you haven't done so far, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel to be informed every time I go live next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.